Tesla AI is like I said, it's like I'm not even sure who's second, frankly.
Why is that? What are people not understanding about what you have, and why are we talking so much about ChatGPT and generative AI at OpenAI and what Microsoft's going to be able to do with it, and not about Tesla?
I don't know. I mean, people do talk about it online. I think Tesla will have sort of a ChatGPT moment. Maybe if not this year, I'd say no later than next year.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry. You're going to have a
sort of ChatGPT moment.
Oh, you will. In terms of suddenly it will.
Yeah, suddenly 3 million cars will be able to drive themselves with no one.
Right. It goes back to that. Right.
Yeah, and then 5 million cars, and then 10 million cars.
That it is controversial is not surprising to us, right? I think there is this immediate reaction to biometrics and specifically iris scanning, and that is to be expected. However, the technology is actually privacy preserving, and we believe it's going to be very, very important in a time in which AI will become increasingly powerful. Presently constant, honestly. We did not see much change either up or down. It's very early, of course. This is a multi-year long or even multi-decade long project, so I think we're like super, super early in the game here. However, I'm really, really happy how last week went from all parties. So I think it was a great start, but we have a lot of ground to cover going forward. I actually do not have the exact numbers as of right now, but it's a little over 2 million. We had a crazy spike in demand last week. We had, I think, over 600,000 app downloads in the first couple of days, and we had lines really all over the world, which was very very encouraging and very cool to see. Everywhere from Tokyo to Hong Kong to Singapore to even kind of in Europe, Spain, Argentina, Nairobi. So it was a very, very stressful week. We had a lot of kind of demand to react to, and especially early on, our servers actually broke down under that. But yeah, it's as I said, it's early. We have to grow and kind of roll out more devices in the coming months. So it's really just the beginning of a long sprint. First of all, Worldcoin is a protocol. It's a open source and eventually fully decentralized protocol that everyone can use and everyone can integrate with. So it is not a company. I think that's the first important thing to understand. I'm the CEO of Tools for Humanity, which is a kind of one of the main and of course the founding contributor to Worldcoin, but there will be many others as we go forward. But now to your question, actually explaining where the competence lies, how does it fit together with crypto? The original idea of Worldcoin was starting a financial network based on the idea of proof of personhood. Proof of personhood essentially means that you as a user, you can verify online that you are a unique human being without revealing any privacy related data. So you actually, let's say actually with Twitter or X, you want to verify on X that you're an actual human being, you're not a bot, which we believe will be increasingly important as we go forward, as AI becomes increasingly powerful. You will be able to just do that with World ID without revealing any personal information about yourself by using what is called zero-knowledge proofs. And that is, for example, that's one of the pieces why crypto is important. In cryptography, there is something called zero-knowledge proofs that lets you prove certain statements without actually revealing the underlying information, which is very, very important. To do that, so as a user to receive your World ID, you have to verify yourself in front of a physical device. It's a 20 centimeter sphere. It's called the orb. And they will be really all over the world in public spaces, in malls, and even kind of wander around cities. It's a decentralized model, so it's not we as a project operate these, but rather you have entrepreneurs and founders all over the world that actually can operate these devices and then earn Worldcoin with every sign up. And you as a user, you download the app. It's called World App, which is the first app that actually allows you to do that, but many others will come. And you click on a map. You say, I want to verify now. You go in front of one of those devices and you receive your World ID, which then lets you verify online with whoever integrates it in the future.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't
forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We got Worldcoin scanning the eyeball.
And we know how important biometrics is going to be. Guys, if you look up, especially where I'm at, every single pole has a camera on it when it comes to the traffic lights. The cameras are not on, they're not working, but you definitely see them there because they're ready to be activated. Right now, we have Worldcoin dangling the carrot, but we know, guys, this is a global agenda. Like they stated, they dangle the carrot first. If the carrot doesn't work, that's when the sticks come out.
And we have self-driving cars. And you just listen to Elon Musk.
And guys, we know Trump passed legislation where it's no wheel and no pedal. So you know for a fact a human is not driving it. But you heard from the horse's mouth. Elon tells you the agenda. He gave you the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. And we have Disney tapping ESPN to step up the gambling. And we know when a country is broke, they step up the drugs and gambling. And we see that in America, the Babylon 2.0, and we see it crumbling. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Major vote in California this week could expand the presence of driverless cars in San Francisco, but got some new details tonight on the dangers they might pose. NBC Bay Area senior investigative reporter Bigad Shaban explains.
No hands on the wheel. No hands at all.
Okay, I just requested our ride, and it's 3 minutes away.
More than 2,000 self-driving cars are on the road in California. Most have a test driver inside who can take over when needed. But hundreds of cars have no one in the front seat as they make deliveries and shuttle passengers. We tried a ride with Cruise. Owned by GM, Cruise is one of the largest driverless car companies in America, along with its competitor, Google's Waymo. Both are now asking California regulators for permission to expand their robotaxi services inside the state's largest testing ground, San Francisco, so passengers can request rides 24 hours a day, right from their phones.
Once you enter your destination, the car does the rest. You can't tell it what routes to take or streets to avoid. So if you're used to being a backseat driver, you might want to find a car with a front seat driver.
Autonomous vehicles can detect closed streets, drive around double-parked cars, and even pull over for emergency vehicles. But getting chauffeured by a robot isn't always a smooth ride. State transportation records obtained by NBC News show self-driving cars have been involved in 280 crashes across California over the past 5 years, resulting in at least 64 injuries and a dead dog. That includes collisions with other vehicles, bicyclists, and city buses.
Self-driving car and no driver.
Some accidents were caused by other people on the road, according to crash reports. How many is unclear from the data. But the cars have been confused by emergency scenes, sometimes plowing into caution tape or blocking fire trucks. Waymo didn't comment, but Cruise tells us automation has safety benefits.
Our cars don't drive drunk, they don't get distracted.
Prashanthi Raman is one of the leaders at Cruise.
Our vehicles are designed to, when they approach a situation that they aren't sure about, they're designed to come to a safe stop.
But you would acknowledge that even coming to a full stop can create safety issues too.
So traffic blockages are not something that we want to have happen.
Just hours after that interview, it did happen. To us. Our first ride with Cruise went as planned. But we then invited a longtime driving instructor, Eugenia Borges, to join us on a second ride. About 1 minute in, our car was at a green light, but wouldn't budge.
It's a very safe situation for the car to turn, and it's just staying here. I'm not sure why.
The car eventually inched forward, but kept stopping.
We're kind of now riding in between two lanes.
Then, all of a sudden, it hit the gas.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know what it's doing now.
Our car drove straight towards the median and just stopped, taking up almost 2 full lanes.
This is not good.
Yeah. People are honking at us.
Soon came the looks from other drivers.
How does this compare to the worst driving student you've ever had?
Oh, this is much worse.
Cruise declined to sit down with us again, but in a statement said the car encountered an unexpected construction zone that would have required several lane changes. The better course was for the autonomous vehicle to come to a safe stop rather than proceed. While other drivers cruised right past that closed lane, our car sat parked on a busy street for 20 minutes, causing a traffic jam for blocks.
What's your reaction to it being a driverless car stuck here?
I'm not surprised.
Self-driving cars are already being tested in at least 25 states. But with no federal regulations, America doesn't have a national roadmap for safety guidelines.
Either you guys just wanted to check in.
Back inside our car, Cruise customer service contacted us to say they detected a problem. Their solution? They sent us a driver to get behind the wheel.
Uber, Bitcoin, self-driving cars. Combine those three together, and you have the self-owning taxi. A car that is a corporation that owns itself, pays for the car lease, the car insurance, and the gasoline from the revenues it makes, giving passengers a ride, and there's not a single human involved in that matter.
Big news on sports betting as Disney's ESPN partners with Penn Entertainment. Julia Borston joins us now with more. And of course, Julia, this all comes ahead of Disney's report after the bell today.
That's right, Melissa. Disney is making its biggest move yet into betting as ESPN for the first time is launching a betting sportsbook. It's partnering with Penn Entertainment to relaunch its Barstool branded sportsbook as Penn is now divesting entirely of Barstool Sports. The new service will be called ESPN Bet, and it will be ESPN's exclusive betting platform launching this fall in the 16 states where sports betting is legal. Now, the deal will give Penn exclusive rights to ESPN Bet for 10 years with the potential for an extension, with Penn paying ESPN $1.5 billion in cash and granting $500 million in shares, warrants to buy 31.8 million Penn common shares that will vest over that period. Now, ESPN can also designate a non-voting board observer, and then after 3 years, a board member. So this deal isn't just about the cash payment and stock upside. It's also about greater engagement that's expected from ESPN viewers once it's easier to bet on the games they're watching. This comes after CEO Bob Iger said he would be looking for minority partners to take a stake in ESPN as it navigates cord cutting and the eventual shift to streaming. We have reported that Disney is in talks with the NBA, the NFL, MLB, and NHL to potentially be the ones to make an investment. Now, we'll see if we learn more about all of this when Disney reports earnings. They do have that earnings call tonight. Melissa?
What are some of the other key issues I'd be listening for, Julia, tonight?
Well, for Disney, of course, this company is suffering from some of the same challenges that all the media giants are, namely an advertising contraction, cord cutting, and challenges with cost cutting. Bob Iger has made it very clear that he's very focused on cutting costs, laid out a bold plan there. So we'll see if there are any updates on the cost cutting endeavors. But the other thing here, Melissa, is that while some of the other companies have seen their direct-to-consumer streaming costs decline in recent quarters, Disney is expecting, or investors, I should say, rather, are expecting Disney's direct-to-consumer streaming costs to increase this quarter by about $100 million compared to last year after the company's guidance on that. So I think there's this bigger question of what's Iger going to do with streaming and how much is all this going to cost the company?
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction
of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.